Hello and welcome, my Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your Twin Flame read for May, June 2020. I am your reader, Mark Angelo, Lyons, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Join the Circle Productions and Pisces Moon. Yes, just when you thought your chance had passed, I went and saved the best for last. Oh, yeah. This set of Twin Flame reads has been tricky, but you know, Twin Flames are. But now, considering the state of the world, I've seen a majority of these readings. They both want to go their separate ways, or at least one of them does. So, been a little tricky. Took my time on this one, doing a lot of self-care for myself. So let's get into this, shall we? It's the last one. I'm doing the new moon to full moon reads starting tomorrow. So I want to give you the very best and the very blessed that I can, my Piscean, my fishy family, my mer people. If you are new to my channel, please do like the video. If you so like it, I mean, it's Twin Flame contract. You may not like the way I read Twin Flames, because I'll get there in a minute. But certainly subscribe to my channel. I'm good at what I do. Hit the notification bell. I'm putting out content every single day. I'm doing daily reads. I'm doing live streams in the morning and the night, sometimes either or, sometimes both. To help us all through that, I've been editing some of my back catalog from Vimeo.com, my on-demand stuff. I'm pulling the meditations and some of the prayers from some of the workshops that I've done, posting those as well. Just trying to get us all through this tricky time on planet Earth. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So that being said, this is a general read, right? Please take what resonates, leave what does not. Check your other signs. I've been keeping these close to, at least trying to keep them close to 30 minutes, because upload times have been insane. And that's not YouTube's fault. Everybody's online. So it just is what it is. Bandwidth. I have no idea what that means, but that's what people tell me. Oh, it's bandwidth. I'm like, what, did they line up the band and then measure them across? I don't know what that means. So this way you can certainly take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and check your other signs. You'll have the time too, one would hope, because we're looking at a Twin Flame contract read. Twin Flames, soulmates, not the same thing. Both contracts, both pre-incarnational agreements you make with other souls, but the healing aspect is radically different. In a soulmate contract, you help each other heal. They are satisfying, they are stimulating, they are soulful, symbiotic, and by the way, not always sexually romantic, and you don't just have one. You can have many soulmate contracts. Similar with Twin Flames, that they're not always sexual romantic, although they certainly can be, and you certainly have more than one. But the difference is you don't help each other heal. You teach each other how to heal yourselves. You teach each other how to love yourselves, how to respect yourselves, because the love and the respect that you want from them by contract, they can't give you and they can't help it. Just how it's written. But they are our greatest teachers, and they teach you how to be the mate of your own soul so that you can be a soul mate to another. Because if you can't love yourself, how the hell you want to love anybody else? Can I get an amen? Thank you, Saint RuPaul of the Drag Race. Shall we? Let's get up in this gig. We're going to be doing the Divine Feminine here, the Divine Masculine here, two parties in a contract. Has nothing to do with biological gender at all. Just so that you can differentiate between the two people in the contract, you and somebody else. I'm only using 13 cards in this spread, so take it as we go. I think you'll like it, but also focus on the breath. The more focused on the breath you are, and the more focused on the breath I am, the more in the present moment will be. I can get you the clarity, guidance, and grace, which is what I do, and you'll be able to really use that Piscean Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign intuition, unless you're cross-watching. In which case, use your intuition anyway to feel out which one you are and how this goes. Cool? Let's do this. Take a nice deep breath. We're going to start with the Caroline Myss archetype deck. All the decks that I read are in the description box at the very bottom. Go look. There's other cool stuff on the way down there. I give good description box. Here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, two cards, one for the Divine Feminine, one for the Divine Masculine, in this Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign Twin Flame contract for May, June 2020. Please give me one for the Divine Feminine. Thank you very much. Give me one, please, for the divine masculine. There we go. Excellent. Now, keep in mind, archetypes are neutral. In these cards, they define a shadow attribute and a light attribute. The shadow attribute is usually distasteful, something you want to keep in the shadows, what we do in the shadows. I love Nadia. But it is usually what you're learning how to heal within yourself. It's often what the twin will trigger within you. All right, so let's have a look-see-dook-see. We've got the Divine Feminine Networker and the Divine Masculine Companion. Very interesting. The Creative Family of Archetypes and the Healing Family of Archetypes. This should be interesting. Now remember, we're not talking about biological gender here, right? So this could be a male Divine Feminine, this could be a female Divine Masculine. I know it's tricky language, but bear with me with the pronouns. I have to keep it aligned in my head. I'm going to read you the attributes of both. For the Divine Feminine Networker, we've got the shadow attribute, conveys information only for personal gain, spreads fear and falsehood. The light attribute enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy, right? So there's our Divine Feminine Networker archetype. The Divine Masculine Companion archetype in the shadow, betrayal by misusing confidences, right? You have someone in your confidence and you misuse that power. Loss of personal identity. The light attribute, loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. Really lovely attributes. In the light, really toxic in the shadow. But that's how it go with archetypes, right? And we all have them within us. We can all relate to all of them in one way or another, but there are some that are dominant in some relationships and not in others, which is why we're going to use 5 Daughters of the Moon Tarot for the Divine Feminine and 5 Mythic Tarot for the Divine Masculine. A lovely little spread I've been reading since my teenage. Yes, I've been doing it that long. The element spread, fire, earth, air, water, spirit. Watch how I pull them out. Nice deep breath. Oh, one more. My goddesses, please. 5 cards, element spread for this Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sign, Twin Flame contract. We're looking at the Divine Feminine Networker here in this Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sign, Twin Flame contract for May, June 2020. Please, element of fire. What is it that she... No. What is it that she desires? What does she want? No, just one card. I have this agreement with them that if 2 or more cards come up to just keep shuffling. That they really want me to find it then, that it's not so simple. So please, 1 card in clarity for this Divine Feminine Networker. What do she want? There we go. For this Networker archetype, what does she have? The element of earth to help her get what she wants. I'll say the rest will come easy. Element of air, what is she thinking? Element of water, what is she no. Element of water, what is she feeling? Thank you. And element of spirit, what is the voice of her soul? That one. Let's look. The Divine Feminine Networker wants the Hanged Man, the card of reversal, to see things differently, to let go and let God, to surrender, to go with the flow, probably to move on, to kind of like, all right, whatever. There's always a sacrifice involved. Like, for instance, somebody who is really stuck in a place in their thinking or perhaps emotionally, and they just have to give up their point of view of seeing things, right? We can so get painted into a corner. And in relationships, particularly twin flames, particularly in times of trouble and tragedy and transformation, we tend to want to fulfill these contracts and move on by seeing them differently. And maybe if you're new to the twin flame being this type of relationship, not the kind that it's usually purported to be. And remember, people are conflating twin flame and soulmate all the time. Check some of the videos in the description box below. There's one by Matt Kahn that's really amazing. We'll be using his deck as the 1 card, the last card down. really redefining these soul contracts in a way that makes much more sense. So maybe seeing this differently if you are the divine feminine networker, particularly that you do like to work information, right? There's something creative there about information, that you will be able to see this differently. What do you have? The element of earth to get you there is a new idea, the ace of blades, right? The one of blades, the ace of swords, the Sibyl, the oracle of Delphi, like a new prophecy coming in, a new vision, a whole new thought, and a whole new way of seeing things. Now, since that is an air card in the earth position, what you got in the air position is 9 of blades, criticism. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean being picky, right? Like people say critical. Like critics are supposed to be critical, right? If they're reviewing a restaurant, they really want to like find the top notes, right? And they want to, oh, I taste some tarragon in this, right? Where, you know, man, just give me the food. I'm not critical about food when I'm hungry. I am critical about certain things, like when people sing off key, just rip my face off. I can't. Bad choreography, I can't. Just my brain wants to implode. But it's not that kind of criticism. This is really about focus, critical focus, then critical care, right? Critical thinking, a critical process, critical mass, right? Critical mass, everything's building up, and it hits that one extra degree and poof, right? Critical, that it's often a teeny tiny thing that triggers a critical mass. So focus in the mind. Now I know we're talking about a Piscean relationship here, but you really go within, focus within. Now traditionally you think the Rider-Waite, 9 of Swords, 10 of Swords, right? 9 of Swords, right in bed with the zodiac bedspread, as I like to call it there. So perhaps there is some overthinking and some sleepless nights going on here mentally. But don't worry, there is this new thought that if it's not come in yet, it will, and it might be seeing the twin flame contracts for what they are. What's going on emotionally? This could be an indication of the Piscean here. We've got the card of the moon, right? So the emotions are high. The tide is high, but you're going on. You're going to be your number one, at least. Be your own number one here. That there is a lot of emotion here. Yemaya, the moon, that your intuitive thing is through that, but you might have to really take the mind. When you're overthinking, it means that your heart, that you're not in your heart. Get grounded, get into your body, deal with your emotions, because I just read this, and Matt Kahn's, the book is right here. I was talking about it this morning and last night on one of the live streams. Everything is here to help you. No, I'm not going to read for the book here and now, but he talks about overthinking. It's sort of like an alarm overthinking going off in your mind, saying that get in your heart, open your heart. And I think that's a really clear way of looking at what's happening here. If you are the divine feminine networker, to really tune to your intuition, feel this out. Not so much here, and here. Like, what are you feeling? That might really facilitate seeing this differently, allowing you to let go of a certain positionality in this. Because as a networker, you know, you're trading in information. There can be so much thought. That 9 of Blades does make sense, but perhaps this reading gives you that new, ooh, I didn't think of it that way. Yeah, I'm being taught something here in this relationship so that I can fulfill this contract. And you've already got 2 major arcana cards, and maybe this is about I want to let go of this relationship, right? I'm willing to sacrifice this in order to learn the lesson and move on to something more satisfying, like a soulmate contract. But you got to learn the lesson. Has to. What's your spirit card? The voice of the soul, a 3rd major arcana card, and the card of the lovers. The lovers absolutely can indicate a love affair. This would bring this into context of romantic relationship to me, but also saying that there is a life-changing decision that has to be made. The lovers card is yes, sure, there is a love affair, but there's going to have to be a major change in order for that to work. And if that's not with this companion archetype, which I don't feel like it is, then there is a real probability that there's somebody else in the picture now or will be. Like the soul is saying, you are learning what you need here to be a soulmate from this twin flame contract. Look, it's not to say that twin flames can't marry and have babies, I don't know, buy a horse or something. I just totally quoted from Pretty Woman. Oh my God, the flashbacks are coming hard today. And there's no drugs involved, just coffee and water. And a stuffed artichoke earlier today. I don't think that counts. And yes, there are occasional twin flame contracts that do alchemize into soulmates, says Matt Kahn. I've yet to see one go that way. Hoping if we can go that way for me with one of them in particular that I have. But that being said, it just means you can't give each other the love that you want. It doesn't mean you don't love each other, but there would have to be some major changes, some major decisions made here. And my sense is that with this card, that this is what you want if you're the Divine Feminine watching this, that you're really going to have to see this differently in order to move on or to be okay with this relationship not giving you what you want. Where that soul card, the vibe on that is saying there is, you can have what you want, just not here. A life changer. Difference between a choice and a decision is level of change, right? I drink a cup of coffee, that's a choice. It's going to wake me up. It's going to taste delicious, but it's not going to radically transform my life. I'm moving to Guam. That's a decision. You with me? Let's look at the Divine Masculine Companion here, because the Companion and its shadow attribute can be very compelling in terms of its codependency, right? Literally loss of personal identity, so they become very attached. I have the Companion archetype, not lifelong, but as something that comes and goes, and I know what that's like to really identify with a partnership, with a relationship, regardless of whether it's romantic or not. I very much have been identified with my relationship with my mom. She's a queen, I'm a prince, but I'm only really a prince with her. And I am funky. When it comes to funk, I am a junkie. Only certain people are going to get that. Breathe. My gods, please, the Divine Masculines. 5 cards, element spread for this Divine Masculine Companion archetype in this Piscean Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign Twin Flame contract for May, June 2020, please. 1 for the, what do they want? The element of fire. 1 for the element of earth. Nope, that's 2. 1 for the element of earth. What does he have to help him get what he wants? His element of fire. Element of air, what is he thinking? Oh, that's 2. Whoop. Hey, 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 hey. All right. Riffle shuffle, you got it. Clairaudience for fun and profit. Please, element of air, what is he thinking? What's on his mind? Thank you very much. Element of water, what is he feeling? What's in his heart? His emotional field? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. You know, when it gets tricky like that, it's saying that they're kind of struggling with it. So the mental part knows what he thinks. What he feels, maybe not so much. So please, element of water, what is this Companion feeling? There we go. Element of spirit, what is the voice of his soul? That one popped right out. Let's look. Well, what he wants is the Empress, right? Something fertile, usually considered a card of marriage. The Empress is usually married to the Emperor. So definitely wants, as a companion, a Divine Feminine. Now, is this the Divine Feminine? Probably not, if it is a twin flame contract, as these readings are. Can it alchemize into a soulmate contract? Maybe, but the amount of work that goes into that I can only imagine is monumental. Like, both people have to be willing to do the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual healing on themselves individually, because twin flames, you have to learn how to heal yourself in order to then come together and help each other heal. Not impossible. I'm sure it does happen, but you know, that's gargantuan in my opinion. That's why I would love for that to be with one of the twin flame contracts that I have. I will always love this guy. I'm gay, if you didn't know. But if it doesn't work out that way, that's okay. I'm just being prepared for my soulmate, whoever that is. And you know, been there, done that. Have the burnt T-shirt, right, from being in hell. And what he has to do this is the card of strength. So I kind of say, there is potential here for this to kind of go that way, for them to maybe heal themselves, has that strength, that fortitude, that stick-to-itiveness, that ability, the courage to follow their heart. See, I can't bear cowards and liars are cowards, right? Usually cowards are liars. They're lying to themselves at some point. So, like, I can't bear that. I need a partner who's, well, strong as iron yet bends to the gale, right? As flexible, resilient, right? So that's why I'm single right now, and I'm really glad I'm single right now during this time of, you know, what we're going through on planet Earth right now. Because it's really easy to know you're not in a codependent relationship when you're not in a relationship with anybody. You're living on your own. So I get that. This divine masculine, the companion, has the strength, the emotional fortitude to do it, but will he? And if you're the divine masculine companion here that wants the divine feminine partner, you have the strength to do it, but maybe not with this particular divine feminine. What are you thinking? The Three of Wands, about loyalty, right? That stability of loyalty, of desire. Yes, I want this. This is what I want. This is who I am. That makes sense for a companion archetype to be thinking, yes, I want the loyalty. I want the stability, something that we can build together, right? It's only a 3. That we can go through the rest of the suit of flames and create something beautiful together. What is the emotion? Remember, this one was tricky coming out. Yeah. There we've got the card of the devil, right? So lots of fear going on here. Now, 1, 2, 3 major arcana cards here. 1, 2, 3 major arcana cards here. Let's see if he goes for the 4th there. But this is the god Pan. So not the devil in the traditional Judeo-Christian version. This is Greek mythos here. This predates all of that. Here we're looking at those drives, those urges. Yes, there's a sexual component here, but there's also something about attachment, addiction, the shadow, the stuff we don't want to address, the stuff we don't want to deal with emotionally. And let's just say the divine masculines don't corner the market on that, but they're not exactly new at it either, right? It's more the divine feminine that is sort of used to feeling and embracing the emotional shadow side of things. But there's definitely a strong sexual drive here, possibly between the two of them. And that is what can make a twin flame particularly tumultuous, is the physical, the chemical, the emotional attraction is there. But you just can't help each other heal, but you can teach each other how to heal. And if the two of you can make peace with that they're never going to be able to give you the love that you really want, the respect that you want, unless they really, really do their healing. And that's, like I said, tough. But let's see. What's the voice of the soul here? 3 of Cups. Now look, 3 of Cups is a tricky card. It is emotional bonding. The voice of the soul saying that there is something possibly better for you here, or that you can be friends. Now look, this is the wedding of Eros and Psyche. Interesting myth right there. One of them, Psyche, had to go into the underworld in order to complete some tasks so that Aphrodite would bless their union. Aphrodite, mother of Eros. Goddesses. What are you going to do? But this could mean, like I said, there is a possibility here that the two of you can make this work. But the alchemization from twin flame to soulmate, I've never seen it happen. But then again, I haven't seen everything. I'm going to say, if Matt Kahn, because I really like Matt Kahn, like he's a brilliant spiritual teacher. That's where I got the idea from. He said that there are occasionally, it's rare, he'll say it is rare. I would like to ask him about that personally. Unfortunately, I don't know him. I would like for him to talk about that, maybe after all of this stuff going on planet Earth has passed for a little bit. But this does indicate a wedding. So, but it also can say from the soul, it's like, honey, you got a soulmate partner coming, one where the emotional bond is there, one where it really, really works out. So again, that's going to play itself out in different ways. Sorry, I can't give you an exact, because this is a general, not a personal reading, but that's okay. Speaking of Matt Kahn, we're going to be using his healing mantra deck for the last card down. Now, it does not matter whether you are the divine feminine networker or the divine masculine companion. Work this mantra, this healing mantra, and it will help you heal yourself, which is what these relationships, these soul contracts are for. Breathe. As I ask the Ascended Masters, please, oh please, oh please, oh please. 1 healing mantra card for this Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, sign, twin flame contract for May, June 2020. What is the perfect healing mantra that doesn't matter who's watching this? Either the divine feminine networker or the divine masculine companion. What is the perfect healing mantra for them, that if this is indeed to alchemize from twin flame to soulmate. I'm not saying that's for sure. Maybe that's only for some. Regardless, what is the perfect healing mantra that they can work for May and June to heal regardless? Releasing expectations. Oh, snap. Womp womp. I'm not telling you. Releasing expectations. Only the highest possibilities come to be whether I envision them or not. Only the highest possibilities come to be whether I envision them or not. So look, certain things are written in the divine plan, but the quantum possibility, the quantum variation that you get is for the development of your soul. So womp womp, sorry, the cards are not telling you what's going to happen, and did I just open to the page? Releasing expectations. Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not. When you release expectations, it is no longer your job to be in control of reality. Well, honestly, it never was our job to be in control of reality. Who has that? Look, I'm a really well-trained witch, and my spells always work, but never in the way that I want to, because chances are what makes me do the spells is the intuition of what's coming anyway. So I'm just doing the spell work, like busy work, to make the transition. You are a soul birthed from the fabric of destiny, where only the perfection of universal will takes shape and form. Once expectations are released, a life beyond your wildest imagination is given permission to enter your reality. This mantra is ideal for having more faith, learning how to trust, and alleviating disappointment. Well, that's certainly, it crosses the T, it dots the I. It just doesn't put the exclamation point at the end of the sentence. It doesn't. It's almost like a to be continued on this one. So it feels like for May, June, this one may continue. It doesn't feel like it's going to be a clean break if there is a break. It feels like, well, particularly you both have 3 major arcana cards, that the spiritual work is ongoing here individually. Will you come back together? Will this alchemize from twin flame to soulmate? Release expectations, because only the highest possibilities come to be, whether you envision them or not. Let's, speaking of envision, bring up the larger picture and see what else we see. Magic lamp. We start with the divine feminine. Networker archetype in the shadow conveys information only for personal gain, spreads fear and falsehood. Fake news, fake news, fake news. The light attribute enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. What does she want? Part of the card of reversal of the hangman is absolute surrender. It's like, I let go and let God, let me go with the flow. I can't do this anymore. Oh my goodness. That's the ice cream man. Well, person. I don't know who's driving. You hear that? It's turkey in the straw. It's how we know it's getting warmer on Long Island. It's just an annoying song. I know so many different words to that song that are completely inappropriate. I'm sure you can hear that. This is an HD camera. What does she have to help her get that? Remember, there's a certain sacrifice of a point of view here, to let go and let God, right? To release expectations, oh my goodness, well, is to take in the new thought, the possibility that no matter what I envision, this is scripted, it's all for my own good, let me chill, and then let me focus my mind, the 9 of Blades, let me go within, introspect, do my own healing, and what? Tune to my emotions, my own divine feminine depth of the ocean, Yamaya with the moon, pulling in, loving what rises, because there is a major decision, the soul says. It's like, yes, there is the love affair that you want. The love that you want is possible, but a major life decision, or maybe a couple of major life decisions, have to go down for that to happen. And if you're a Piscean and you're this divine feminine networker, you'll do it. I know you will, because I can relate to that. I'm a networker. Like, I relate to her. However, jumping over to this divine masculine companion archetype, the shadow attribute of the companion, betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. The light attribute, loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness, which is lovely. What does he want? He wants the Empress. He wants the divine feminine, or at least a divine feminine, someone who has that fertility that can give them that stability, or at least share in that fertility. With the card of strength there and his element of earth, that's Heracles. That's the Nemean lion. That is about not just conquering his own fears, but having the fortitude and the emotional strength to do it. So he's got it. Three of Wands in the element of air there, really thinking about loyalty. May very much want something loyal and stable, where there's no kind of messing around, that there can be confidences in there like a companion archetype would want. Right? Instead of betraying them, really having that loyalty there. But in the emotion, there is absolutely some fear there, as well as some perhaps bestial, animalistic desires there. Sexuality, sensuality, nothing wrong with it. But something that he may not want to share with just anyone, right? May want something way more intimate, sacred in a way, in order to embrace the sexuality of it, the carnality of it, but also there is some fear there as well. And that card of the soul, right, that soul position, the Three of Cups, it does say that there's an emotional bond there. There's a possibility for a happy wedding, a wedding celebration, a union celebration, a commitment ceremony. But is it with this divine feminine networker or not? Is this a twin flame that can alchemize into a soulmate? Well, you both got to release the expectation that only the highest possibilities come to be, whether you envision them or not. Perfect mantra for this, but still a bit of a cliffhanger for my Piscean Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract people for May, June 2020. Well, I'm not necessarily satisfied with that answer, but it is an answer to be continued is the answer on this one. I can totally relate to this. This totally feels like I can really see myself in either side there. But the man that I will always love, unfortunately, we cannot be together. Not just because of what's going on planet Earth, but he was somebody else, and I will not be the other man. Not going to happen. So a lot of changes will have to be made, and if there's a quantum version where he does that, great. And if there's one that he's not, then I'll be with somebody else who's perfect for me. And that's how this plays out, that only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I can envision them or not, whether I can even imagine it. Why? Because the divine plan is better than anything we can even imagine. So if you can't imagine it, that's the divine plan, right? So may the Piscean collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their twin flame contracts for May, June 2020. They certainly saved the best for last, and oh my God, what a cliffhanger. So may they be blessed with all that they need to heal themselves, to love themselves, to respect themselves, to set the boundaries, to get the clarity, to make the decisions, and to see this through into whatever's going to happen next for their fulfillment and the fulfillment of the divine plan for the well-being of all. So motivate. And so it is. Please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and comment below. My pleasure reading for you, as always, my Mer family. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of it all, though. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.